track and field, volleyball, wrestling, and more. Don't just hear about it. Be there with Sports Nebraska.
Well, we're now down to our final championship match of this year's volleyball season. And in the final round, we find the Whippets of Minden, Nebraska, taking on the Lakeview High team from Columbus, Nebraska. They got here this way. In the quarterfinals, Alliance defeated Omaha Roncalli to move to the semis. Minden defeated Grand Island Northwest. In the bottom bracket, Waverly defeated Ainsworth, and Lakeview defeated Norris. Then in the semifinals, it was Minden defeating Alliance in 3 tough games to move them into the finals of tonight's contest, and Lakeview defeating Waverly to move them into the finals. So it's Minden again versus Lakeview of Columbus, and it looks like it could be an excellent matchup. Class B has been probably the most competitive class in Nebraska, with a number of upsets occurring in both the districts and the finals here in Kearney. The coach of Minden is Don Gardner, and here's how Don describes his team.
Dick, I think we're a well-disciplined team who does the fundamentals fairly well. We pride ourselves in our teamwork.
I think I've seen you play enough times this season. The thing that's impressed me every time has been the way that your girls continue, as you just said, to do the fundamentals of the game. Even when they get behind or when they get rattled, they've done that very well. Have you done anything in specifics in your practices to develop that attitude on your team?
Well, we do a lot of things. We put them through some rigorous mental drills as well as a fundamental volleyball, and it just all seems to pay off, Dick. When we get behind in the ball game, they bear down, they come back, they don't rattle, or anyway they haven't yet this year, and I'm just really proud of the way that they play.
We're ready to get underway, and both teams are nearly lined up there. You're getting a close-up of the Minden huddle, and Don Gardner sends his girls onto the floor, and right now it's Columbus Lakeview who breaks their huddle, and they'll hit the floor. Both teams ready to go as we're going to close out the 1980 volleyball season in style with Minden versus Columbus Lakeview in the Class B state championship. Serving will be Columbus Lakeview, Anita Long. She wears number 7. She's 5 foot 6 inches tall, and she is a junior. Columbus Lakeview with 4 of their top 7 girls are juniors, Terry. They'll be here probably again next year unless something strange happens. Long service. Right there is Peterson. Set up by Christensen, and here comes LaRue. Looping spike, backcourt, and that's Lowski that picks it up. The double hit called on Gossman, and the Whippets get the service right back. Peg Peterson will be on the line for Minden. Peterson gets the okay from the referee. The ball's up, and a good serve. Picked up in the back line by Naveen. Set high, and here comes the spike from Schaff. Popped up high there by Julie Johnson. Peterson brings it back in. It's taken on over by Peggy Christensen. Picked up there by Werdeman. Popped over. Great spike by Schaff. What a hammer. Ooh, get a new ball. She just blew the air out of that one.
Lakeview's running an international 4-2. That means that number 11, Janet Gossman, sets up at the right front position and has 2 left front attackers.
Diane Werdeman be serving for Columbus Lakeview, her service. And right there, Julie Johnson, double hit. Lakeview draws first blood. It's 1-0, Columbus on top. Takes her time. The serve, a nice high serve. Peterson is there. Linda Christensen, the nice high set to LaRue. Taps off to the side. Great one-hand save. Peterson will pick it up. Christensen back set. Here's LaRue. LaRue, deep spike, right on the line. Great hit. And Minden will get the serve back. They trail 1-0. Linda Christensen will go back to serve for the Whippets. 5 feet 4 inches tall. She's a senior. Her service. A good serve. Right there, it's picked up, taken to the net. Oh, it drops over the net. Misplayed by LaRue. She didn't think it was coming down on the other side. Take a look at the shot, Terry, that just fell inside the line by LaRue here.
Right. Against this man-up defense, shots down the line will fall.
There's a serve. Peterson picks it up. Gardner sets it high. Here comes Christensen. Bam! The double block doesn't work as Christensen puts it down, and Minden has the serve right back.
Christensen went up very strong on her weak side. Took the ball off the center blocker.
Erpelding will come in on the front line for Julie Johnson. And back serving for the Whippets will be Peggy Christensen. Don Gardner, this taking quite a while for a routine substitution. Coach Pettit, this is one thing that a lot of coaches use now to slow momentum is a substitution.
Well, there's several ways you can slow momentum. One of them is a timeout. Another one is a substitution, providing you've got someone good to put in.
Christensen's serve comes all the way back over. It's set up by Gardner then. The tap off by Erpelding. Picked up back there. Set up by Gossman. Taken on a cross. And right there is Christensen. Now Linda Christensen sets it front line. And LaRue brings it on across. Back line. Long sets it up high. Gossman takes it across. Picked up. Gardner sets it up to LaRue. Boom! LaRue puts it away off a nice set from Laurie Gardner. And your score is tied at 1 apiece. Take a look at it.
That's interesting. LaRue's attacking the ball from right front, usually considered the weak side for a right-handed person, but she attacks the ball stronger there than she did the left front.
Akir Gardner sets it up to Erpelding. Good spike by Erpelding off a great set by Laurie Gardner again, and Minden's got 2 on the board. They lead it by 1. Lakeview on the opposite side of the board, looking now to break the string as Minden scored 2 in a row. Peggy Christensen, her service, picked up back line by Long, defensive spike by Gardner, and you've got it 3-1. You know, an interesting point, of course, I broadcast for Ogallala every year, but one thing that we've always felt like our conference is very strong. Since 1974, there have been 6 Southwest Conference teams either win this state championship or be runner-up.
Well, I don't think you want to run any commercials here, but I know that you and several others are very proud of that conference.
And Minden is a member of that. They've won it for the 2nd year in a row, and Minden with a 4-1 lead, and Peggy Christensen just puts the ball in the net, and Lakeview will have it right back. First set action, Class B, state finals here for the championship. On the line, Lee Naveen. That service, a double hit called in the back line on Leanne Booker.
Good job.
4-2, Lakeview back within 2. Still serving, Naveen. Naveen's service. Christensen, double hit called on Christensen. And it scores number 3. Naveen still with the ball. Her service just lands right on the end line as LaRue elected to let it go.
That's just really good serving. On the last 2 balls that Minden did play, they probably were out. That ball dropped just inside the back line.
Here's the good serve. You'll see LaRue back out of the way. It falls right on the line. Still serving. Naveen. Her service. Picked up back line. LaRue is there this time. Booker brings it up front. Peterson looping spike to the backcourt. Naveen is there. Long sets it high. Here's Lowski. Good spike. Lowski puts it down, and Lakeview takes the lead, 5-4. Naveen's service. LaRue is there. Gardner pops it up high. Here's Peterson. Looping spike to the backcourt, picked up by Schaff. Set by Long. Here comes Werdeman. Picked up in the back line by Booker. LaRue takes it up front. Here's Peterson again. Into the net this time. 6-4. Lakeview on a run. They lead by 2. They still have the serve. Naveen's service. Right there's LaRue. Nice pass up front. Gardner with a good set. Peterson looping spike. Picked up, taken to the net. Defensive spike to Peterson. Puts it away this time. Bamo. 6-4. Lakeview leads it, but Minden has the service, and Laurie Gardner will go on the line for the Whippets.
Excellent body control by Peterson. Most people would hang themselves in the net on that shot.
There's the service, picked up back line, Gossman. There's a good spike, what a hit by Lowski. She impresses me.
She's doing a good job. Right now, Minden is a little bit confused by Lakeview's International 4-2.
The good shot by Lowski, you see her going back down the line. Lowski serving now. Picked up by LaRue, popped up high. Gardner takes it up to the front, and Peterson takes it on across. Picked up in the back line, set by Long. Schaff, what a hammer. She picks it up, and Christensen can't get it on over. It's 7-4. Lakeview leads by 3, and Minden having some problems now handling Lakeview's powerful spiking of Schaff and Lowski. Loeschke service. LaRue is there. Christensen, the nice set. Taken on across by Erpelding. Picked up back line. Set up there by Long. Looping spike. Peterson will save it. Christensen gets under for the set. Peterson, the spike is blocked, but blocked on the wrong side of the net. And Lakeview gives service back over to Minden. Double substitution. Booker will come out. Christensen will go in. And Erpelding will come out. And Johnson will come in. Let's look at that again.
We're going to have a chance to see Peg Christensen's hit here again. Ball was set a little bit inside, but she was able to move into it and put it down.
Peggy Peterson, she has been a starter all year for the Whippets. Done an excellent job for them. Johnson, service, will be knocked out of bounds by Naveen as Naveen came up fast to make a play on the ball, got too much on the pass, and Minden pulls it back within 2. It's 7-5. Lakeview leads it. There's the service. Naveen is there. Long will set it high. Schaff with the spike. Picked up by Johnson. Christensen brings it back in, and Gardner takes it on across. Right there is Werdeman, set up by Long. Werdeman looping spike that Gardner will pick up, but Peterson falls down into the net, and the play away from the ball costs the Whippets the service. Long will be serving. Her team leads at 7-5. There's the serve. LaRue knocks it out of bounds. Peterson brings it back in. Gardner takes it across. Picked up by Naveen. Set up by Gossman. Bam! Schaff hits it. Blocked by Peterson. Picked up. Set by Gardner. Backhand by Peterson. Saved by Naveen. Set up by Gossman. Bam again. I'll tell you, this Schaff hits it with everything as the Whippets having trouble getting back.
It was an excellent play in the backcourt by Naveen. Not only did she bring the ball up, but she was able to guide the ball right to the setter so that Schaff could put it down.
8-5. Lakeview leads it. Long still serving. Her service. Put into the net by, is that LaRue? Yes, it was. Make it 9-5 as Lakeview really looking strong here. I am very impressed with Julie Schaff and Lene Loeschke. 2 excellent high school hitters. There's the service. Peterson picks it up. Popped up high there by Christensen, taken on the cross by Linda Christensen. Set to the net. Schaff hammers it again, and it goes down for point number 10. 10-5. A 5-point lead.
That time the ball was set a little bit farther out than Leanne Booker figured, and she's a little late setting up the block. You can see it right there. The ball's hit down the line.
The service picked up by Gardner. The block, then Christensen saves it. Peg Peterson with a looping spike that's over the end line out of bounds. It's 11-5. There's the service from Schaff. Picked up back line, double hit called on Lori LaRue. 12-5. Minden trails by 7 here in first set action. They're going to have to regroup and come right back if they intend to stop the encore of Lakeview's tremendous spiking on their front line. There's the service over the end line, out of bounds, and Peggy Christensen will go in for the Whippets.
Christensen was able to run some points earlier.
Substitution as Johnson will come out and Erpelding will go in to play the front line. She goes in at the left front spot. On the front line for Minden, you've got Erpelding, Gardner, and LaRue. The service return. Christensen sets it up. Taken over second hit by Gardner and scores. Great diving try by Laurie Sander, but she just could not get a hand on the ball. Sander only 5'3", very quick in the back line. Christensen, pardon me, her service. Picked up in the back court. Tapped on over by Gossman. Picked up there. Gardner sets to LaRue. The spike by LaRue. Picked up in the back court. Taken over second hit. Linda Christensen will save it. Picked up by Erpelding. Then popped over by Gardner. Right there is Werdeman. Set up by Gossman. The spike by Schaff is blocked. Then tapped over. LaRue makes the play. Gardner makes the play on it. Set over the net by Christensen. Picked up back line. Werdeman set up high by Naveen. Bam! Schaff comes after him again. Picked up by Christensen. The set. The tap off by Erpelding. She drops it down. And the Whippets score number 7. and they're within 5. It's 12-7. Minden trails by 5. They have the serve. The serve will not be handled. They will get it back. No, they call a double hit. An illegal hit on it will score number 8, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Interesting thing on Lakeview, up to this point, all but 3 spikes have been hit by 2 girls.
There's the serve, picked up in the back line, popped up front by Christensen. They've set up, tapped off, and the block by LaRue drops in for point number 9. It's 12-9. The serve, picked up back line, double hit called on Sanders, and Minden pulled it within 2. It's 12-10, and once more, it's starting to look like a championship game score, Terry Pettit.
Right, I noticed coach is making a change in here, putting Anita Long back in the game. If Lakeview would just back up their back row receivers a little bit, I think they might even encourage Minden to serve the ball out, or at the very least, they could move some of their front row people back a little deeper to help with serve reception.
Comes the service, picked up by Long, good bump, taken on over there by Naveen, picked up by Peterson, popped up high, Christensen taken over by Erpelding. Set up by Gossman. Here's the hammer. Lowski saved by Christensen. Lowski picks it up. Gossman sets it high. Lowski, boom, down she goes again. What a hit. Take a look at it, Coach.
This is an excellent set here. One of the adjustments that I think Lakeview could make is that Lowski hits the ball high enough that if they set her tight, she's going to go over the block anyway, and I think she'll put the ball down. If they set her off the net, Minden digs the ball.
Substitution as very quickly Booker comes in the ball game for Christensen. Thank you, Christensen. There's the service by Gossman, picked up by Peterson. Erpelding takes it up, and Gardner brings it on across. Right there is Werdeman, set high by Long. Bam, what a hit. It'll be blocked, but no, it won't work as it drops down for a Lakeview point. It's 13-10, and boy, is Lowski hot on the front line.
That's her 4th kill.
Here comes the serve from Gossman. Christensen double hit call, 14-10. We're still in first set action.
Yep.
State championship game. Janet Gossman with the serve, 5 foot 8 inches tall. She's a junior. Gossman's service will be out of bounds. Minden will get the service back, 14-10. They trail by 4. They need a roll right now as Lori LaRue will serve for them. Picked up back line, Werdeman set up by Long. The spike by Lowski. Great hit by Lowski from the corner. What a hitter she is. I'll tell you something, Coach, like a friend of mine says, she may not be in the class by herself, but whatever class she's in, it doesn't take long to call roll. She hits it.
Well, everybody in the gym knows where the ball's going, but there's not much you can do about it.
There's a service, picked up back line, taken on across by Gardner. Popped up high, set up by Long here. Lowski. Lowski spikes down. It's 15-10. Minden loses the first one, 15-10 to a very fine Columbus Lakeview team. We have second set action coming up, and let's take a look at that last point.
This time, Lowski moves into the middle to attack the ball. We're going to see a free ball here. Ball's passed up. Long sets the ball. One thing I've noticed about Lowski is she tends to take the ball cross court. Now, Schaff earlier was taking the ball both down the line and cross court. I think if Minden recognized this and was able to rotate their back row to cross court, they'd have a chance to dig some of those balls.
Columbus Lakeview defeated Waverly to get into this game against Minden in the finals tonight. They have an experienced team this year, and here's Coach Mary Jane Cush to tell us about them.
Okay, we were here at state last year with 3 of the girls that were starters last year again starting this year. They're juniors. They're a stable force on our team. As a whole, our team is very determined. Sometimes they drag their feet, get behind a little bit, but then they plug forward and they get it.
You have a little bit different offense than what we see in the western part of the state. You play a 4-2 international. Can you explain that and tell the fans why you use it?
Okay, an I-4-2 is instead of having hitters on both sides, left and right. We concentrate on center and one side. And the reason we do this is we have 4 consistent hitters and 2 very good hitters. It helps us to get a center hit, which a lot of teams are not used to and not ready to block, so it really helps in your offense.
Both teams are back out on the court now to begin action from the second set. Minden, it's a must-win game for them. This is right where they were 1 year ago. They lost in the finals to Kimball in 2 straight sets. They did not want to do that again here tonight. Peg Peterson will start the serving for Minden. Her service. Picked up back line by Lowski. Set high by Gossman. Oh, Schaff nails one. And Lakeview's got it right back.
Excellent pass by Lowski. Excellent set. Excellent attack by Schaff. I'm impressed with Lowski's back row play. For a big girl, she lowers her hips, gets beneath the ball, and passes well.
The service into the net as Long catches the top of the tape with her first serve, and Linda Christensen will go back to serve for Minden. Linda gets the okay. Her service, a good serve, picked up and popped up front line there. Gossman will set it to Schaff. Oh, no bones about it. We're going to the power, and they just go after him. I don't see Minden even trying to block those right now, Coach.
Well, they're trying to block, but they're not setting up real strong. They've got to move the block a little further inside.
Here comes the service, a good serve. Peterson is there. Christensen takes it up front. It's taken on the cross by LaRue. Right there is Long. Gossman, good set, double hit called. If it hadn't been a double, that was a nice try to get it close to the net. Peggy Christensen will be serving for Minden. Herbelding will come in for Johnson. She'll move to the left front spot. On the front line for Lakeview, you've got Naveen, Schaff, and Gossman. Christensen service. Picked up back line by Lowski. Here's Schaff, bam, bam, and Peterson picks it up. Lowski pops it up high, right back to her again, bam, and it's blocked out of bounds, and Christensen gets the last hit, sending it into the bleachers. They're making no bones about who they're going to tonight.
No, they aren't. There's 2 hitters up there, but 99% of the balls are going to Schaff or Lowski, and it's hard to dispute it.
Schaff's service this time also in the top of the tape. And right now, the only thing that's stopping Lakeview is Lakeview.
One of the things Minden has to feel good about is that Lakeview's put down 3 kills already and still doesn't have a point.
Momentum is a thing that can shift so very quickly in this ball game of volleyball. Seen it happen many times. You know, years back when Ogallala first went to state, they played Scotts Bluff in the finals of that district tournament. They were in Class A at that time. They lost the first game 15-3 and then came back and won 2 close ones, 17-15, 19-17 to go on to the state tournament. Should probably never have been on the floor with them. Well, there's a service brought on over. LaRue will pick it up. Gardner sets it high. The spike by Erpelding goes down as the double block does not work. And Minden scores the first point of the ball game. LaRue gets it. She'll go back to serve again for the Whippets. LaRue's service. Back line is Long. Right there is Sander. Here comes the spike again. It's Lowski who puts it down for the Vi-Queens. Here comes the replay.
Lowski swings to the outside and just hits right over the top of the block.
There's the service out of bounds this time by Schaff. Schaff just put the ball out of bounds. And the Whippets will get the service back. Lori Gardner will be on the line for Minden. Her service right there, double hit called on Werdeman. Werdeman gets the call, Minden gets the point. Gardner goes back to serve again.
Minden has 1 kill, Lakeview 4. Minden's winning 2-0.
The ball is served out of bounds. Lori Gardner. It'll turn the service back over to Lakeview. And on the line will be Naveen for Lakeview.
Very important that she gets a serve in.
Her team trails 2-0 in the second set. They won the first one. Gardner's a double hit called, scoring point number 1 for Lakeview here in the second set. The first set was won by Lakeview 15-10. A win here will win them the trophy Minden must have it to stay alive. Here's the service. Gardner picks it up. Christian takes it over second hit. Right there is Schaff, set up by Long. This time the spike by Werdeman, and they did not go to their big gal this time. And
no, that's one of the disadvantages of it. Not that Werdeman can't put the ball down, but she hasn't seen a set up to this point, so that when she did get a set, it probably surprised her a little bit.
Would have surprised me if I'd have been on the floor. Johnson will be substituting in for Erpelding, and Christensen will be going in for Booker. For Minden, that exchange made. Minden with the ball. They have the lead, 2-1 here. Second set action. There's the service. Oh, a great play by Schaff to get to the ball. Peterson pops it up, the set back to her, taps it over the top. Long is there. The spike by Lowski this time goes into the net as she tried to take a tough one and make a good play on it.
Lowski wasn't prepared for that ball and really wasn't in a position to attack it.
Johnson, back line. Schaff will pick it up. Long sets it. Lowski, boom, down she goes again.
She was, however, prepared for that one.
Didn't take her long to get regrouped, Coach.
No. I'm impressed with her athletic ability. She's a good athlete.
3-1. Minden leads it by 2, but Lakeview has the service, and Lowski's on the line for them. Her service. LaRue, double hit called. Sometimes I wonder if those are actually double hits, if you hit it on just one arm and it squirts out like that.
Well, if the official calls it, they are.
It's true. When the whistle blows, it's done. But we see that a lot.
You notice these teams are well coached. The players, if they make a mistake, even if in their minds it might be a questionable call, they don't make any faces. They go right on to the next play.
Wild play just to get the ball back over. It's returned by Lowski. Christensen will tap it over. Right there is Werdeman, set by Long, and Schaff will take it on a cross. Christensen is there. Linda right back to her. Christensen spike, cross court, and it's saved by Sanders. Set by Long. Looping spike will be saved by LaRue. Gardner takes it front line. Peg Peterson takes it to the backcourt. Sander will pick it up. Long sets it. Here comes the... Just going to have to take it over as it was a deep set. Christensen will set it to Peterson. The looping spike, and right there is Lowski. Long sets it up. Schaff, bam! And she's got the door closed again. 3-2, and Lakeview has that service.
Schaff's hard to defend again. She's hit the ball everywhere on the court.
Take that back. It's a 3-3 ball game as Long still serving for Lakeview. Her service. LaRue will pop it up. It goes out of bounds. Minden gives up point number 4. They trail by 1 here in the second set. Long. Still with a service. She's regained the lead. 4-3. Her service. Ace serve. It drops in. And a 5-3 ball game now as the serving of Anita Long is creating some problems for the Whippets. Long waits for the okay, gets it. Takes her time. Serve is good. Right there's Julie Johnson. Linda Christensen sets it high. Christensen's spike is going to go into the tape and back, and Linda Christensen called for the 4th hit. It scores number 6. It's a 6-3 ball game. Minden down by 3. Lakeview has the serve. Anita Long.
I would expect Don Gardner to call a timeout here.
Picked up there by Gardner, set up by Christensen. The spike by Peg Christensen. Good save by Lowski. What a play by Schaff to spike it. Brought back in by LaRue. Brought on over by Christensen. There again is Naveen. Set up high. Here's Schaff. The block. It'll not work. And Lakeview goes on top 7-3. What a ball team. Gets the replay here.
When you've got an athlete like Schaff out here, one of the advantages is that you can go ahead and set the ball super high. You don't have to be tricky with it because she has the athletic ability to go up strong, hit over the block, and put it down. We're going to see it right here. Minden bumps the ball over, free ball. Set, very high set. Schaff comes in. Off the block, puts it down.
Back here, we just had on the court a spike by Peg Christensen that dropped down and gives the service back to Minden. 7-4. Peterson still serving. Picked up back line. Loski's there. Long sets it up to Schaff. Schaff is blocked. Great block by Peg Christensen as Schaff really nailed one, but Minden pulls within 2. It's 7-5. And Minden will have the serve. They trail by 2, 7-5. Right there is Long. It's over the net. Gardner with a defensive spike. Picked up and taken on a cross by Lakeview, but it'll be out of bounds. As Gossman tapped that out of bounds. The first hit there by Julie Schaff. Christensen, her service. Long is there. Taken up front by Gossman. Schaff will take it on a cross. Linda Christensen to pick it up. Lori Gardner sets it up. LaRue with the looping spike that's saved and then brought back over. And Johnson can't make a play on it as Gossman tricked him up, took it over on the second hit.
Right, she had the pass forced her into the net. She really didn't have an opportunity to set the ball, closed her fist and pushed it over for the side out.
7-6, Lakeview leads it. They have the service. And Werdeman will serve. Her serve, Peterson will pick it up. Gardner sets it high to Christensen. Looping spike over the block and into the open area, drops through, and Minden gets the service right back. Peggy Christensen will go on the line for the Whippets. Erpelding will come in for Johnson. I believe this will be the second or third substitution. They don't have many more, as the game is a lengthy one. Christensen, her service, picked up back line, set up high by Gossman. Schaff, wham bam, it drops right on the line. One signal's in, one signal's out. Quickly we get a replay from the officials on the stands. And we'll do it all over again at 6-7. Minden down by 1. And Christensen puts that one into the top of the tape. Lakeview gets the service right back. Back on the line will be Julie Schaff, 5 foot 8 inches tall, an All-State honorable mention player last year as a sophomore. I can see why. An excellent hitter. Her counterpart, Loski, also just a junior this year. She was an All-Stater last year. The service, Christensen will pick it up. Peterson brings it back in, and LaRue takes it on across. Picked up back line by Werdeman. Gossman sets it to Loski. Bam! And Peterson knocks it out of bounds. And Minden gives up point number 8.
That's Loski's third kill. Schaff has had 6 already this game, 9 kills. Peg Christensen leads Minden with 2. And yet Minden's still in the game.
8-6. The service just clears the net. Knocked out of bounds by Linda Christensen. And it's 9-6. Schaff is back serving for Lakeview. Her serve. A deep serve. Drops on the end line. As Peterson and Booker elect to let it go. It's 10-6. Minden down by 4. Schaff still serving for Lakeview. Her team has a 4-point lead. They won the first set. Linda Christensen pops it up high. Gardner with the set. The looping spike will be gone. Will go down for Erpelding, and the Whippets will get service back. They need a rally, and Lori LaRue is on the line for Minden. LaRue's service. Right there is Long. It goes into the net. Nobody can get a hand on it as Gossman tries, and it's 10-7. LaRue still with the ball. Her service picked up by Long. Back line. Gossman sets it up. Double hit. 10-8 as Minden's back within 2. Almost a replay of the last game.
You could see that Janet Gossman was thinking about that last set even before she said it.
Long, and then Gossman. Now the spike. Peterson is there. Christensen sets it high, and Erpelding brings it on across. Popped up back line. Gossman takes it up. The spike is in the top of the tape. Gets it back over. Set up. Erpelding's spike is picked up by Long. Set up by Gossman. Taken over by Loski. Good athlete. Picked up by LaRue. Peterson with a looping spike that's taken to the net. Peterson defensive spike goes down. And Minden's back within 1. It's 10-9. Gardner service. Picked up back line. Set high by Long. Lowski, wham, bam. She's got it again. Oh, what
Nobody
a hitter.
home. Excellent hit.
Quickly a side out to the Lakeview Queens. And Naveen will be serving. Naveen, her service. Picked up back line by Gardner. Oh, good set there by Christensen. Looping spike by Peterson. Picked up back line. Set high. Here's the spike. Not be saved as Lowski gets another. 11-9. Lakeview up by 2, and they're 4 points away from their first state championship.
Again, Lowski continues to take the ball cross court. But when you're that high up and you're hitting the ball that hard, even when there's someone there, it's awful hard to bring the ball up.
Lowski serving. Her service. LaRue is there. Johnson takes the front line. Christensen brings it on across. Right there is Lowski. Is set by Long. Tap over. Picked up by Christensen. Set up by Peterson. Here's Christensen's tap into the tape. That ball in the tape. And it's 12-9. The serve. Picked up by Johnson. Christensen will set it to Peg Christensen. Looping spike. And right there is Naveen. Set high by Long. And Schaff will bring it on across. Picked up by Gardner, set by Christensen. Peg Christensen spikes, blocked out of bounds, and Minden gets new life. They trail by 3. They need some action here to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and get back into the ball game. 12-9, Peg Peterson serve. Double hit called on Naveen, and it's 12-10 as Minden's back within 2. Christensen serve. Over the end line out of bounds. 12-10. Minden trails. They turn the service back over to Lakeview. Werdeman will be serving for the Queens. Werdeman's service. Peg Peterson is there. Gardner tries to take it over second hit. It was blocked. How'd they get it back? I don't know. I don't think Lakeview thought they would. There's a spike picked up by Peterson. LaRue will take it on over, and right there is Lowski. Set up. Here's Schaff. Wham! Oh, she hit another. And another point goes on the board. It's 13-10, and Lakeview closes in just a little tighter on that championship trophy.
Lakeview's doing a good job of mixing it up as to where Schaff's going to appear. About half the time she's outside, half the time she's in the middle.
The serve. Peterson is there. Gardner sets. Back set to LaRue. Looping spike. And right there is Long in the net. Nobody can dig it out. And Minden has the service back. Booker's service. Picked up by Long. Set high by Sanders. Spiked into the net by Schaff. 13-11.
That's really the first net ball I've seen either or Schaff or Lowski hit.
It's the first time I've seen Booker serve. Booker's service. Right there is Lowski. Set high. Here comes the looping spike into the net by Naveen. 13-12. Booker back on the line for the Whippets. They trail by 1 in this contest. They must have it if they're to remain alive in the state tournament. Takes plenty of time. Her serve. A good serve. Long is there. Pops it out of bounds. Brought back in by Lowski. Long brings it on across. Peterson makes the play. Gardner sets it high. A good spike by Erpelding goes down, and it's all tied up to 13 apiece.
There's her 4th kill. She's doing a good job out there.
How do you like your eggs, Coach?
How do I like my eggs?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I think we are going to be here at breakfast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Minden certainly has momentum going for him.
Sander comes out. Gossman goes in. Booker, her service. Picked up back line. Lowski set high by Gossman. Looping spike that Christensen will save. Set up to Erpelding. The spike goes into the tape. Good call by the official. It was not a block. It never cleared the net. 13 apiece. And back serving for Lakeview will be Julie Schaff.
And Julie Schaff's had 2 aces in this game already.
Julie serve. Knocked out of bounds by Erpelding, and it'll drop in. It's 14-13. Lakeview 1 point away from the state championship in Class B.
Now the pressure shifts to the server. She's got to put the ball in.
There's the serve, a good serve. Christensen puts it up high. LaRue brings it back in court, and Christensen takes it on a cross.
We know where it's going.
There. Here comes the set. Lowski, the spike, picked up by Booker. LaRue brings it in. Erpelding brings it on across. There's the bump. The set. Here comes Lowski. Lowski spike, picked up. Peterson will bring it up front a ways, and LaRue takes it on across. Sander is there. Christensen sends it high. Gardner with the set. Erpelding, the tap off. It drops down. And they got it back again. Don't shut the lights out yet.
Again, a good play by Erpelding. The set was tight, but she went up after it and kept the ball in play.
LaRue, her service, picked up. Grossman takes it on across. Right there is Christensen. Set up by Gardner. Peterson spike. Good save in the back line. Defensive spike. Saved. The defensive spike by Lowski is set up. Peterson with a looping spike, picked up by Shaft. Back line taken up front. Pops up high for Salt. Minden ties it up. We're in overtime. The first one to win will be the team that scores 2 points first. You must win by 2. And now each coach has another timeout should they want to use it. LaRue, the service. Double hit. 15-14. A flip for the timeout. 15-14. Minden's up by 1. LaRue, her service. Long is there. Gossman takes it up, and Lowski brings it on across. Booker is set by Gardner. Here's Peterson. The looping spike saved by Long. Gossman is there. The spike will go down. Another great hit by Lowski. Great players make great plays, and she just made another one.
Well, in the last couple of plays, they had trouble getting the ball high enough for her. If they can get the ball high enough, she can go over the top and block it.
15-14. Lakeview down by 1. They'll have to score 3 in a row to win it. There's the serve. Booker pops it up. Gardner set to Peterson. The spike by Peterson blocked. They get it back. What a play. Pop back by Christensen, taken over by Gardner. Gossman is there. Set by Long. The spike by Lowski. There's Christensen. Gardner will set it. Here comes Peterson. The tap off. It's good. Minden's got the service back. What a game.
Excellent tip by Peterson.
That play, Christensen hit the ball and hit the back of Peterson's head and went over the net. A little luck never hurt anybody, Coach. There's the service. Picked up back line. It's in the net. The defensive spike by Erpelding, and Minden wins it 16-14, and we'll go into third set action. Oh, what a ball game. It's been that way all night.
Either we've got a lot of people from Minden here, a lot of people that like to live there. Because this place is going wild.
All right, we're going to take another look at that replay there and let you take a look at that headshot a little bit better. There's Christensen's hit. Notice it hits Peterson on the head, and it will clear the net. That is a legal hit, right, Coach?
Yeah, they work a lot on that in practice.
In soccer, maybe. Both teams take the floor. Peggy Peterson will be serving for Minden. Do they have the serve this time? I thought they served last time to open up.
Well, they probably, I don't know, in high school, in college, we flip before the third game.
Oh, that's right. Before the third game, they do flip. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
We'll straighten you out.
Thank you. Peterson's serve will go into the tape. That's why it was a little longer. They usually don't start the clock until after the flip. So we had a little longer break there. And now the serve by Long. Knocked out of bounds, and Minden will give up point number 1. Lakeview goes on top 1-0. We're in third set action. The winner of this one will win it all in Class B. Anita Long still serving. Her serve touches the top of the net. Just caught the top of the tape. Minden will get the service back. They trail 1-0. Linda Christensen, her serve, a good serve. Picked up back line. Gossman sets it high. Schaff pops it down, and Peterson will save it. The back set to LaRue. Picked up back line by Loski. There's Schaff again. This time goes out of bounds. Point for Minden. It's tied up at 1 apiece.
Gossman gave Schaff a shoot set. That's a fast set to the outside that time. I don't know if it was intentional or whether it was just a little lower than maybe she'd planned.
There's the set. Schaff. Her spike picked up by Johnson. Gardner is there with the set. LaRue, heavy hand on that one. It's blocked and blocked out of bounds, and Minden takes the lead 2-1. Christensen still serving for the Whippets. Her serve picked up back line. Here's a defensive spike. Oh, double hit called as Gardner really sucked that one up and put it away for the Whippets. Lori Gardner. There's a kid that's been under pressure, the coach's daughter, but she's performed for 2 years. There's a service, picked up back line. The tap off by Christensen. Illegal hit called on Lakeview. It's 4-1, and Minden leads it quickly here in the third set. There's a look at a bench that's worried. Relax, she tells them, slow it down. There's a service by Christensen. Picked up back line. Gossman, good set. Schaff, what a hit right down the line. Nobody there to stop that one.
Well,
replay on that hit, Coach.
If anybody thought Lakeview was going to lay down and die, that told them something right there. An excellent
that
pass.
was beautiful.
An excellent pass that allowed a good set and allowed Schaff to put down the ball.
The serve from Werdeman, knocked out of bounds by Christensen. Johnson gets a hand on it, but only sends it further into the bleachers, and it's 4-2. Right back to Werdeman. Werdeman will be serving. Lakeview down by 2 now in the third set. Her serve picked up by Christensen back line. Gardner is there. Run on over by Peggy Christensen, but it goes out of bounds. And the Whippets give up point number 3. Substitution quickly. Booker will come into the ball game. Who will she come in for? She'll come in for Christensen on the front line.
Normally she wouldn't come in until back row, but I think Coach Gardner wanted to slow down the momentum of Lakeview a little bit. I think he can look for the ball to go to Lori LaRue on the next play.
4-3. Minden leads it. Lakeview has the service. Diane Werdeman with the serve for the Vikings. Her service. Right there's LaRue. Good pass. Set up high by Gardner. There's a spike by LaRue. Saved by Long. Set by Gossman and run on over by Schaff. Picked up by LaRue. Set by Gardner. LaRue's spike is blocked. Good block on the front line. The double block set up by Schaff and Gossman. And the Whippets give up point number 4. It's all tied up at 4 apiece. Little confusion there on who was serving. Werdeman finally gets it back. The set by Gardner. Here's Booker. Her looping spike, an off-speed spike that threw him off pretty good, Coach.
Well, Booker was a little upset with herself after she hit it, but it was enough of a difference. A little bit slower than LaRue's been hitting the ball, and it threw Lakeview's players off, and they were able to get a side out.
Tied up at 4 apiece.
Chris
Johnson comes out. Erpelding comes in. Booker on the back line serving. Her serve. Picked up and running across by Long. Booker is right there. Gardner sets it high to LaRue. LaRue hits it hard, and it cannot be dug up by Gardner, although she makes the try. Lakeview will get the service right back. Tied up at 4 apiece.
I think the ball will come to Erpelding this time.
Schaff with the serve. Her serve. Popped up high by Peterson. LaRue takes it up, and Erpelding takes it on across. There's a nice bump, the good pass. Here's the spike, not be saved by Booker. As once again, that's Loski on the line. Getting it done. 5-4. Lakeview leads it. The serve by Schaff. Peterson double hit called. 6-4. And has been the pattern of each of the last games. It's close. Lakeview pulls away. Let's see if Minden pulls it back in again. The serve right there is Christensen. Over the net. Defensive spike does not go down. It goes on the wrong side of the net for Naveen. And Minden gets it back. They trail by 2. LaRue, her service, home run, out of the ballpark.
You notice Lakeview huddles every time they get a side out, just to make contact, to maybe perhaps call a play or call a set, but mostly just for psychological reasons, to emphasize the unity on the team.
Gossman's serve. Picked up back line by Booker. Gardner will set it to Peterson. The spike is blocked, and they'll not get it back. Good play on the front line by Lakeview, and they score number 7. Look at that block.
I believe Leah Naveen makes this block. Ball set inside. It's a trap set. Naveen goes up, snaps the ball down.
Gossman's service. Picked up there by Booker. Peterson pops it up high. LaRue takes it on the cross. Right there is Lowski, set right back to her. Here comes the hammer. Down it goes. 8-4. And Don Gardner says he wants a timeout. He's got to settle his team down once more. They trail by 4 in the final game. Let's go back and take a look at that play.
Columbus Lakeview's been passing the ball really well the last 3 or 4 points. They get a free ball play here. Long sets the ball. Lusky takes the ball inside the block cross court. I really think that from here on out, the most important thing is going to be serve and serve reception. If Lakeview is able to pass serve, they're going to be very tough to beat. Minden's going to, when they do get the serve, is not only going to have to serve, but they're going to have to serve tough and force free balls. Free balls or aces.
Both teams on the court. Lakeview with the service and the lead, 8-4. Gossman serving for Lakeview. Takes her time. Good serve. Christensen is there. Gardner will set it up to Peterson, the tap off. Good save. Peterson makes a play on the ball. It drops over. Picked up by Long. Naveen brings it on back over. Booker is there. LaRue takes it front line. Peterson and tap over. Drops in. Smart play by Peg Peterson as she goes over the top of the block. Right into the short backcourt. It drops in and Minden gets service back. They trail by 4. Served by Gardner. Picked up back line by Schaff. Lowski over to Long, who takes it across. LaRue, then Christensen. Looping spike by Peterson. And we have a football, I believe, on either Naveen or Long, but I didn't get the number.
Peterson's had 7 dinks in the match.
Gardner, double hit called on Schaff in the back line as Minden comes back within 2. It's 8-6. I'll tell you, the fans aren't even yelling loud anymore. I think they're emotionally drained.
I think everybody's pretty tired.
Gardner's spike, or service, is picked up back line, set up. The looping spike there by Lowski's picked up. Christensen will set to Peterson. The tap over, and right there is Gossman. Long set. Lowski, her spike is blocked, then picked up by Booker. Christensen's high set to Peterson, the tap off, and Lowski is there. Long with the nice set. Naveen with a spike. It's picked up. What do we have? Called in the net. Who's in the net? Minden in the net. The ball was clear away from the net. What was?
I really don't know what happened there. There's no reason for anyone to be in the net because no one was blocking.
8-6. Lakeview with the ball back. There's the serve. 8! As Naveen drops in an ace, and her team takes another 3-point lead. 9-6. Third set action, state championship game in Class B. Leah Naveen, her service. This time just clears another ace. LaRue trying again, but that serve is falling just about where the spike line is. Now let's see if she goes deep.
That's Leah's 5th ace for the match.
See if she goes deep. She goes a little bit deeper. LaRue plays it this time. Christensen, the set to Peterson, the tap off. It's down. As Peterson has come up with the good dinks here.
That's her 8th dink.
The substitution, or Pelling will come out and Johnson will come in. Booker will come out and Christensen will come in. 10-6. Minden down again by 4. A spot they have not become unfamiliar with in this game.
This has been a tough serve reception pattern for Columbus Lakeview. Minden's been able to run some points in this reception. It'll be interesting to see if they can get a side out.
There's a serve. Johnson puts it in the net. 10-4. Or 10-6, pardon me. 4-point lead for Lakeview, and they have the serve. Lowski with the ball. Her serve, a good serve. Right there is LaRue. Set back in by Christensen, and Linda Christensen brings it on across. Popped up front, Long will set it high. Here's Schaff over the end line, out of bounds. 10-6, Minden gets service back. Peg Peterson goes back. She's the one who's been the consistent scorer for them from her serving position. There's a service double hit called on Naveen, and they score number 7. 10-7, 3-point ball game now. Peterson still with a serve. Her serve just clears. Knocked out of bounds that time by Gossman, and the Whippets are back within 2 again.
Lakeview's starting to sit on their heels instead of moving on the serve reception. They're reaching for the ball instead of moving to the ball.
Peterson's serve. This time she goes to the deep center. Set up by Long. Werneman looping spike. Right there is Johnson. Christensen sets to Christensen. Christensen's over. Knocked out of bounds. It'll not be brought back in. It's 10-9. A 1-point ball game here. It's been that kind of game all night long between these two teams. Peterson, her service. Taken over the net. Defensive dink goes down. No, they'll bring it back. Great defensive play. Christensen. Linda Christensen right back to her. The spike just goes into the top of the net and comes back. Another good call by the official. She was right on top of it. Or right below it, however you want to look at it.
Leah Naveen had problems with 2 or 3 balls in a row, but she came right back and made a really good play to get that ball back over the net.
Long service. LaRue. Right back to her, the tap off, picked up by Werneman, set by Long. Here's Schaff, the block will not work for Christensen, and it scores point number 11. It's 11-9, Lakeview leads by 2. Good shot there of Schaff on the front line. Now it's Long, the server, into the top of the plate, and Minden gets the second chance. Linda Christensen goes back on the line for the Whippets. The girls look tired, Coach Pettit.
Well, I'm sure fatigue plays a major part from here on.
There's a serve, picked up back line, set up by Lakeview and taken over by Schaff. LaRue right back to her. LaRue with a hammer that goes down. 11-10, and Minden back on the run. They're within 1 here in the 3rd set of the state championship game. And right on the serving line stands little Linda Christensen. Christensen serve. What's the whistle? An illegal alignment call goes against Lakeview. That'll score another point. It's tied up at 11 apiece.
I think a timeout would be appropriate here. The Lakeview players are starting to get a little bit disorganized.
Linda Christensen, her service. Right there is Lowski. The set, the shaft, soft shot. Right there is LaRue. Popped up by Gardner. LaRue, looping spike, saved by Lowski. Gossman sets to Schaff. Schaff, looping hit. Knocked out of bounds by Johnson. You know, that would have been close. That ball could have come down.
Well, you know, you can't fault anybody for being aggressive back there. Minden hasn't gotten back in the match by being timid.
It's tied up at 11 apiece. Lakeview has the serve, and Werneman's on the line for the Vi-Queens. Her service. Linda Christensen. Peg Christensen will set it to LaRue. Good spike by LaRue over the end line. Just out of bounds, and it's 12-11 as Lakeview takes the slimmest of margins, a 1-point lead. Werneman, her serve, a good serve. Knocked out of bounds, brought back in by Christensen. LaRue can't get a play on it, and it's 13-11. And now Don Gardner will take the timeout as he wants a chance to regroup his troops. 13-11, third game. Last chance you got. What are you going to do, Terry?
Well, I think a couple things. One, the server has to put the ball in play. Both teams are playing well. The mistakes they're making now are mostly from mental fatigue. I don't think the players are physically that tired. It's just from the pressure of playing in a state tournament.
You know, this high school volleyball tournament is being sponsored by the Nebraska School Activities Association. Every accredited high school in Nebraska is a voluntary member of the NSAA, and the schools themselves make up the rules and regulations. The NSAA has been serving the youth of Nebraska for most of this century. Of course, Nebraska would like to thank them for their help and cooperation in bringing you the state volleyball tournament. The service, Christensen will pick it up. Gardner sets it high, and Christensen will take it on a cross. It drops down, and Minden gets the break they needed to get the service back. They are down by 2. They need a comeback if they're to win their first state championship ever. Lakeview needs to stop them and put 2 on the board for themselves.
And Chris Erpelding, Minden's strongest attacker in this match, is coming back in the game.
That substitution taking place right now as you watch it. Booker will go back to serve. He takes the ball from the linesman, gets the okay from the official. Plenty of time. Her serve. A good serve. Right there is Lowski. The set. Looping spike over the end line out of bounds as Naveen got too much on it. And it's 13-12. And here we go again. Booker still waiting. She's got the okay. Here comes the serve. Again, a good serve. Picked up front line. The spike by Schaff. Saved by Christensen. Double hit called on Christensen. Is 13-12. And going back to serve is Julie Schaff. Moving Lowski to the front line, Coach Pettit.
Right, and up to this point, Lowski's had 2 kills in this game. Not as many as the other ones, but she's played excellent back row defense and passing.
The tap off by Erpelding again tricks up the blockers, and Minden's got the service back. As Erpelding went softly with the hit instead of powering it, and it tricked up the blockers. 13-12. Lori LaRue, her service, returned in 1 hit. Erpelding takes it right back over, popped up high, taken on over, and LaRue is there. Christensen brings it up front, and Gardner takes it on the cross. It drops in, and they're tied up at 13 apiece. LaRue, her service picked up back line. The defensive beat, and Minden takes the lead, 14-13. We'll see a timeout from Coach Mary Jane Bush. Let's get a look at their huddle. Mary Jane has to do the same thing now that Gardner's been doing. Coach, let's take a look at the replay of that last point.
That's Peterson's, I have that as her 9th tip of the match. She's been very effective on it, and on almost every one, she's taken the ball to her left down the line.
Here's a game that saw Lakeview totally in control throughout the first set and through most of the second, and all of a sudden, here we are. Minden leads at 14-13. They're 1 point away from the state championship.
Well, the important thing here will be the pass. If Lakeview makes the pass and the setter gets the ball up, Lowski's got an awful good chance of putting the ball down.
LaRue, oh, the serve is into the net. Hell, what a ball game. And Lakeview goes back to serve. Gossman will be serving. And their fans are on their feet. Gossman, her serve, a looping serve, picked up by Booker. Gardner sets it to Peterson. Peterson loops it over the top. It drops down. And Peterson really has been looking for the holes here late in the 3rd game.
That shot was effective because of the dinks that she's been hitting short earlier in the match.
There's the service. Gardner's serve picked up back line. Set up by Long. There's Lowski. Good save by Peterson. Will they get it? They do return it. Picked up back line. Long will set it. Here's Lowski into the tape. It rolls over a little top spin, and we've got a new ball game again. It's 14-13. Lakeview's got the service back. And Gossman goes back on the line for Lakeview. The serve, and right there is Gardner. Christensen with the back set to Peterson. Peterson loops over the top. Brought back up front, brought over the net. Nobody can make a play. And Lakeview gives service up to Minden. Minden still just 1 point away. I think Don Gardner is out of... He may be very close to being out of substitution time with these girls. If this is the 4th substitution, I don't think that it is, but if it would be, he'd lose that service, Coach.
Well, one of the disadvantages that Minden has is that they do substitute a lot. It's an advantage in that a lot of people get into play, but when you get late in a match, if you're forced to leave 6 people in, it can cause some problems.
It'll be Julie Johnson, her service. A good serve, and right there, the pass up front. Set. Werdeman with a looping spike. It's knocked out of bounds by LaRue. LaRue can't believe she went for the ball.
Well, I have that as Werdeman's first kill of the match. That's a nice time to come up with one.
Lowski will be on the line, serving. That brings Schaff back to the front line. Her serve. Johnson is there. Christensen with the set. It's over the net. Defensive spike. No. Long mishandles it, and they turn the service back over to Minden. It's still a 1-point game. Minden could win it if they can score a point. Peggy Peterson has been their most prolific server. Her serve, right there, over the net. The dink, it's state champion time for Minden, and what a comeback as they win it. 15-13. It went 15-10, 10-15, pardon me. The first game went to Lakeview, and then 16-14, and finally 15-13. Minden, a storybook comeback to win the Class B state championship, Coach.
Well, the important thing that Minden did is they hung in there mentally until they had the opportunity to come back and the opportunity to win it. They weren't intimidated by Lakeview's strong attackers. They didn't alter their game plan. They made some adjustments on defense. They endured.
And so, Coach Pettit, that about wraps it up for 1980. Some final thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, I think the real winner was Nebraska volleyball. Cushing Coliseum was packed with people here. We saw evidence of good coaching, good training. We had good competition. This was a much more competitive tournament than the state tournament 2 or 3 years ago. I couldn't be more pleased with what's happening in Nebraska with high school volleyball.
I agree with you, Terry, and I've been watching it since 1972. Thank you for being with us, Coach. I want to thank the NSAA for putting on a fine tournament again in 1980, and thank the folks at Cushing Coliseum for all their good work. For Terry Pettit, I'm Dick Lungrin, wishing you a good evening.
Our thanks to Mr. Dick Lungrin and Terry Pettit, coach of the Lady Huskers from the University of Nebraska, for the fine color commentary they did tonight on the 1980 Nebraska Girls High School Volleyball Championships. Just a quick reminder that Sports Nebraska travels to Lincoln, Nebraska this Saturday with live coverage of the Nebraska Invitational Women's Basketball Tournament. It'll feature Northwestern, University of California at Berkeley, the University of Michigan, and, of course, the Lady Huskers of the University of Nebraska. We'll see you then on Sports Nebraska.